My name's Josh Kittle, and among other things, they say that I have a lot of hobbies, I'm a student pilot. I've been flying since roughly 2004, and like many of you, I'm sure have experienced, life gets in the way. I'm working on finishing up my private pilot's license, and I've been accumulating a lot of stuff. As pilots, we seem to have a lot of gear. We have field testers and log books and all sorts of things that take up a lot of space. And I've gone through a number of flight bags over the years, and I'm getting to where I think I need a different one. I'm exploring some options. I started out with the Jeppesen bag that came with a ground school kit that I bought. Quickly realized that that wasn't for me. And I've gone through a few other bags over the years. This is a flight gear bag that I got from Sporties, and I've had it probably 10 years. It has a lot of space, but there were two things about it that caused me to start looking for a new bag again. One, it only had a pocket for one headset on the side. That's just how it was designed. Two, it had such a large interior in the core that I was losing things, and they were getting bent up, and it was kind of a mess. So I got on Amazon and I found this leather bag, and it's actually not marketed as a flight bag, but I've been using it as one, and it just doesn't have enough room. It's full of stuff. I've got one headset in there, and I'm flying with a Bose A20, and I'd like to keep it nice. They were not cheap headsets. I can't keep it in the original case, and this bag, I just find that it's a little too tight for space. I was doing a little research on the web, and I know that Flight Outfitters, among others, sell a lot of different bags. So I reached out to Flight Outfitters. After looking around, I found this bag they had called the Bush Pilot, and I couldn't find any video reviews. I didn't see that anybody had really shown what this bag could do. But visually, I liked the way it looked. So I reached out to Flight Outfitters and asked if they would send me one for evaluation. They did cut me a deal and give me a good price on the bag so that I didn't have to absorb all of the costs myself. But this will be an unbiased review and an opening of the bag. And I'm going to talk to you about how it may fit my needs or how it may not fit my needs, and what I think about it. And if I have any suggestions or recommendations for things I would change, I'll talk about those too. I am not being paid, other than the discount that I was given on this bag, to produce this review, and they did not ask me to do this. This was of my undertaking. So the box came today, and we'll pull the bag out of it here. We have the Bush Pilot bag from Flight Outfitters, what they call it. So this is a canvas bag. It's kind of an in-between size. It's comparable to the large Sporties flight gear bag that I had down there, but I think it's built more solidly. And what caught my eye initially about this bag, let me undo the handle here in the middle, was that it had two pockets on the outside that could be used for headsets. And I've got, like I said, I got the Bose A20s. They come in a factory bag that provides a lot of protection for those headsets. I'll grab one here in a moment. And I wanted to see if those headsets would fit in this case in the factory bag. Visually, from the web, looking at it, I think they will, but we're going to find out together. A lot of pilots like me want to try to maintain that original storage bag for extra protection. So we look at the bag here and let's see what all we've got. We've got a nice strap here tucked inside it. We've got a nice padded orange interior with a large main compartment. I already mentioned the two headset compartments on the side. We have a compartment here, I'm going to call this the front of the bag, which has canvas pockets. It's got the same lining. It almost feels like a felt type material that's on the inside. It's got canvas pockets. These looks like they would fit a radio, if you've got a portable NavCom you carry, or any other sort of, it could be anything. It could be an ADS-B receiver that you've got, something like a Stratus you carry around. Maybe it's an electronic E6B. We'll talk about all of that stuff, and I'll talk about a little bit of what I carry in my bag. But right now, let's look at this thing and see what we've got. So I talked about that front pocket. I really like the soft feel of this orange felt-like material on the inside. It's high visibility, makes it easy to see stuff in the bottom. So if I were to drop something, I'm not staring at a black bottom and trying to see what's down there. Unless I'm missing any, it looks like that's the extent of the externally accessible pockets. Let's open one of these side pouches. This is a combination of canvas and leather. And that works really well together. It's got a nice little airplane monogram on there. There's quite a bit of room in what I'm going to call the headset pocket on the side here. I'm going to step away for a second and grab one of those A20 bags and see if it'll fit in here. Alright, so I've got the Bose A20 headset in the original bag, and I'm going to see what we've got here. It sure looks like this is going to work out. So we've got it in the original bag, in the pocket, and I guess here's the moment of truth. Let's zip it up and see what we've got here. And it fits. Actually, that fits quite well. We've got zippers on both sides, so you can just open it partially and pull it straight out. We're going to try to put another A20 here on the other side, and then I'll walk through some of the other items that I carry in my flat bag. We'll pack them in here, and let's see what the loadout looks like. Alright, I'm back with the second A20 headset. We're going to get into this second side pocket and see what we've got going on here. Same interior as the other one. Appears to be the same size. There's no internal pockets or anything in the headset pouches, but it does look just the right size to hold these. So look at that. The reason I carry two headsets is you never know when you're going to have a headset failure. You never know when you're going to have somebody say, hey, can I come along? Obviously that doesn't necessarily impact me right now in my student role, but it will when I complete my private pilot certificate. And I just like to have it there with me. I don't want to have to go back to the FBO and find a headset. So with both headsets in here, this is what I'm left with. I've got the large center section of the bag, and then I've got this front pocket. And by the way, this has a really nice canvas strap with a leather shoulder piece here. That honestly, that's going to mark up, and leather. As it gets scratched and scuffed and things, it just gets more character. This is going to age really well, I think, and look pretty cool when it gets some marks on it. So, yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. We've also, in addition to that top strap, we've got hand carry straps here if you just want to carry it by hand. I'm going to go ahead and pack some of my gear into the bag, and then I'll come back and show you what a loadout looks like. Alright, I finished loading out the bag, and I have my essentials in it, and I'll kind of show you what I carry and how they fit in this Flight Outfitters Bush Pilot bag. Well, the first thing I've noticed, and actually not the first thing I noticed, something I just noticed that I hadn't pointed out before, is on the back of the bag, there's a strap. So if you're carrying more luggage and you've got one of those pull-out carrying handles, you can slide it through the hole and this bag can ride along. So that's kind of a cool little addition. Alright, so my Bose A20s do both fit in their original cases into the two headset pouches. If you've got a David Clark or a Lightspeed or something similar, you should also be okay with getting those in their original cases into these pouches. So that is a huge win for this bag for me. The front, I've set up kind of as my gadget and gear pocket. So I have my iPad mini with my knee board. I've got an electronic E6B, a standby NavCom or a spare NavCom handheld in case I would have a radio failure. I've got my Scout ADS-B receiver. I've got a couple of USB batteries, a couple of pens, and my cable. So this is kind of my gadget or electronics area here. And pretty much everything I would need for that category fits in there quite nicely. There's not a lot of extra space, but it does the job. When I open up the top, this is kind of my larger compartment, and I have a fair amount of stuff in here, but I don't feel like it's all swimming like it did in that other bag. So, a plotter. We've got some log books. Those will be getting tucked away when I'm not required to carry them for endorsements anymore. I've got a manual for my radio. I got a couple of E6Bs. One's a paper E6B. One's metal. I've got another VFR knee board here. A flashlight. A couple of fuel testers. A small first aid kit. But really just the essentials. And I think that this bag, can't forget the flashlight. I think this bag fits the role quite nicely. Everything seems to fit without swimming. If there's any suggestions I could make for this bag, here's what I would take away from it. I feel like the back of the bag, where the lid for the main compartment closes, is a little flimsy. Not that it's going to cause any durability issues. I just don't like seeing it kind of mushed down in there. I wish it was a little more rigid and would retain a structure. But that is purely visual, and that's just me being a little OCD about things. What else would I change about it? I think it would be really cool if on the inside of this pouch, near one of these compartments, we had a slot where I could stick things like my pilot's certificate or, a ramp pass or something else. That could be, an additional bonus. I don't know that it's a make or break for me. I feel like the bag has adequate space to carry what I need to carry. I don't think that I mentioned the bottom of the bag. Let me close it up here and show you one more feature before we wrap this little tour of the Flight Outfitters Bush Pilot bag up. Get it closed here. I've removed the large shoulder strap temporarily. But anyway, on the bottom, we have these metal feet. These are going to help protect the bag from touching the ground directly. So if you've got a little bit of water, a little bit of debris, or even if you just want to quit from ripping a hole in the bottom of the thing as you drag it along the ground, that's going to provide you a little bit of protection. So what do I think of the bag? I do like the bag. I think it's well made. I think they've used some quality materials here. The canvas, I think, is going to be durable. The leather, that's a classic touch. I love leather. I think the size is right. The price, I want to say, don't take my word for it, but it was somewhere right around $165, $170 for this bag. I think that's a fair price. I love the size of the headset compartments, and I love that they're externally accessible rather than just being like a pass-through to the inside core of the bag. With bags that have just one large inside core and these, pass-through pockets, things just get all over the place and it gets to be a mess. So that's not my favorite type of design, but I'm definitely digging this. I'm going to try it out for a while. I'm going to carry this for some flights, see what I think, and we'll find out if this stays in my rotation or stays my primary bag. I'm certainly excited to kick the tires on it, but thanks for watching. Thanks to Flight Outfitters for hooking me up with a little bit of a price break on this so that I could show people what this bag is all about. Yeah, I like it. Let's see how it holds up and what kind of durability we're dealing with. We'll keep you informed. Thanks, guys.